When we look at the headlines coming out of the Middle East, it's so easy to get lost. It feels like this tangled web of conflicts. But what if I told you that a lot of these crises, these wars that seem separate, are actually connected by one single massive rivalry? A power struggle that is literally shaping the future of the entire region. Let's break it down. So you gotta ask yourself, what's the common thread here? What connects the horrific civil war in Syria, the humanitarian catastrophe in Yemen, and the endless political paralysis in places like Lebanon and Iraq? Well, that's what we're going to get into. We're going to uncover how a high-stakes power struggle between two regional giants is fueling all of it. Yeah, these aren't just isolated tragedies. You have to see them as the front lines of a bigger shadow war for control of the Middle East. And the best way to think about it is as a regional Cold War. We're not talking about the two main powers lining up their armies and fighting directly. No, this is a battle fought in the shadows. It's a struggle for influence, for security, waged through other groups, through political chess moves, and, of course, through a whole lot of money. Okay, so let's meet the two rivals at the very heart of this contest, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the Islamic Republic of Iran. On one side, you've got Saudi Arabia. It's a conservative Sunni monarchy, it's the guardian of Islam's holiest sites, and a major U.S. ally that basically wants to keep things as they are, preserve the status quo. Then on the other side, you've got Iran. It's a revolutionary Shia republic. Its whole ideology is anti-U.S., and its mission is to export its revolution across the region. I mean, you can see right away, these aren't just rivals, they're fundamentally polar opposites. To really get what's going on today, we need to jump back in time. We need to see how an ancient religious divide got supercharged by a modern political explosion. So the story starts way back in the 7th century with the Sunni-Shia split. It was all about a disagreement over who should lead the Muslim community after the Prophet Muhammad. And honestly, for hundreds and hundreds of years, this was mostly a theological thing, not something that sparked major wars between empires. And this quote, it gets at something absolutely crucial about the Shia identity. Historical events like the Battle of Karbala created this powerful central story of martyrdom and resistance against injustice, a story that still has a huge influence on Shia political thought today. And then, 1979 happened. The Iranian Revolution changed absolutely everything. It took that old theological split and turned it into a weapon for a very modern political fight. All of a sudden, you had this new, assertive Shia power on the world stage, and its very existence was a direct threat to the conservative Sunni monarchies, especially Saudi Arabia. And that, right there, was the spark that lit the fuse of this modern rivalry. So how does this big rivalry actually play out on the ground? Well, it's not happening with tanks rolling across the Saudi-Iranian border. Instead, it's being fought in the streets and villages of other countries.
Our first stop is Yemen, where this proxy conflict has just spiraled into one of the worst humanitarian crises on the planet.
In Yemen, the battle lines are drawn pretty clearly. Saudi Arabia is leading a whole military coalition to back the internationally recognized government. And on the other side, Iran is backing the Houthi rebels, a powerful Shia group that took over the capital. It's a textbook proxy war, and the Yemeni people are the ones paying the ultimate price. Next up is Syria, where this rivalry just poured gasoline on an already raging fire, making a catastrophic civil war even longer and even bloodier. So you had Iran, along with its powerful proxy Hezbollah from Lebanon, going all in to save their ally, the Assad regime. And to counter that, Saudi Arabia and its partners started backing various Sunni rebel groups who were trying to overthrow Assad. And just like that, Syria's tragedy became a central battlefield in this regional Cold War. Now, Lebanon is a bit different. Here, the conflict is less about open fighting and more about a political chokehold that leaves the entire country in this permanent state of crisis. It's a pretty clear playbook, right? First, Iran spends years funding, arming, and training Hezbollah until it becomes the most powerful military and political force in the country. To push back, Saudi Arabia supports and funds rival Sunni politicians. And the result? The entire political system is basically held hostage by these outside powers, leading to just endless gridlock and collapse. And this same pattern, you see it playing out all over the region. In Iraq, Iran has huge influence through powerful Shia political parties and militias. And in Bahrain, back in 2011, Saudi Arabia literally sent in troops to help the Sunni monarchy crush an uprising by the Shia majority, all to stop Iran from gaining a foothold right on its doorstep.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this all sounds like a complicated regional problem. Why should it matter to the rest of us? Well, because the shockwaves from this fight don't stay in the Middle East. This isn't just a squabble in a faraway place. The instability it creates can send global oil markets into a panic. Yep, that can affect the price you pay at the pump. The brutal proxy wars have created massive refugee crises. And in all that chaos, extremist groups like ISIS found the perfect breeding ground to grow. So this rivalry, it has a very real impact on global security for all of us.
And behind all the geopolitics, behind all the strategy, there's a human cost that is just staggering. This number, over 400,000, that's the estimated number of people who have died in the conflict in Yemen alone. It's a horrifying reminder that this isn't some chess game. It's a matter of life and death for millions. So here's the most important takeaway. While this conflict often gets framed as Sunni versus Shia, that's not really what it's about at its core. That's the language it uses, the uniform it wears, but really, this is a very modern fight for geopolitical supremacy. It's about security, about national interest, and about who gets to set the rules for the Middle East. Religion is the framework, but the prize is power.
And that leaves us with the million-dollar question. With roots this deep, roots that are ancient, modern, religious, and political, is this rivalry just a permanent, unchangeable fact of life in the Middle East? Or is there any chance, any hope, that these two giants can find a way to step back from the brink and build a more peaceful future?